In this video, I want to update training on the MOM Signals fully automated strategy. So some of the information will be direct related to NT8. Some of the information will be regardless of what platform you're on, concept related. So let's start with the NT8 side. Here we have the NT8 platform open. I have data feed connected. The first thing you want to do if you have not yet imported the automated strategy is to import the automated strategy. So currently we have two files on the NT8 downloads page at Revolt. We have one file that is the bar type and indicators. That's in one bundle. And then we have a second file that you have to import that is just the automated strategy. And that's important. We have it that way. I'm sure we'll be doing features adds and updates to the automated strategy, so we want to leave that as a standalone file. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to take your NT8 platform, like I said, the control center. For this training, you can make sure you're on a strategies tab. There's a reason why you should monitor that when you're loading up an automated strategy, making sure that the strategy is enabled. So we'll have that ready as needed. And then what I'm going to do to add a strategy and to go through at least the current settings that we have on the strategy, we'll right click anywhere on any active chart that you're using. We'll go to strategies. We'll left click on strategies. And then I'm going to go and you should see in the strategies that are available an AIQ folder, short for Algo IQ. We'll open that folder and there we go. The AIQ MOM, short for Momentum, STRAT, short for Strategies, we'll highlight that and we'll hit Add. That will populate the strategy, and let's go through the settings so you know what everything means and kind of get the basics covered. So quantity is how much position size you want to trade. I frequently run the strategy on either 150K master account. And a master account, when I use that term, it means an account where I'm going to run the strategy on a chart. So I'll be running it on that account number, that chart. But a master account means I'm also going to utilize that chart, this platform and this chart, to talk out trade activity, to other follower accounts using like TradeSync or Affordable Indicators Trade Copier, which is a whole other topic in itself. So on a 150K account, in the beginning, when you're first playing with the automated strategy, you might want to trade with 2 micros, 3 micros, get the hang of it, make sure you get on optimized settings, make sure you fully understand all aspects of trading automated. Trading automated is something you can't shortcut. You have to go through all the training. You have to understand what you're doing, what time windows are most optimal for the instrument you're trading. Are you on the right time frame? So in the beginning, what you want to do is do some beta testing, meaning run the strategy, run it on like a sim account, and make sure you have 3, 4, 5 days where everything is working, everything is making sense before you even get into any trade copying off that particular account. It's just like, I don't know why it's happening. I cannot tell you how many people come on board, and I can literally tell from the questions asked in the email that they want to hurry up, load the files, hurry up and go trade. They don't have a clue what they're doing. They don't know what the settings are on the automated. They haven't gone through a single training video, and it's just like, you can't shortcut this. You're trading automated. If you spend a week or two committed to the training and watching what other people are doing from the Revolt room and getting some basic understanding of automated trading before you get out there and are slinging any sort of account that's an eval or live account. Stay on sim till you've proven to yourself you have a capability and that everything you're doing is working, where you're not having issues going on that don't make any sense to you. You want everything that's happening, good, bad, or ugly, to make sense to you. Okay, so on a 150K account, I would start with 2 to 3 micros at any point you eventually and get onto trading an eval or live account. Start there, trade for a week, make sure, again, this is like stair stepping. A week, 3, 4, 5 days of beta testing. Make sure everything's working right. You got your platform working right. Everything's making sense. You pass that step, step up to the next one. Trade 2 or 3 micros on an eval or live account. Make sure that week works out. That at least you know what you're doing and all aspects of the functionality of the automated trading is doing what you think it's supposed to be doing. Then after that, then you can start opening up and expanding your operations. So stop and ticks, very important. This is my fixed stop. So if my trade platform fires off a mom signal trade from my entry point, where's my stop? This is a really important part of the automation, because if you keep using too tight of a stop, you're going to keep getting blipped out of a lot of trades that you don't have to. Markets don't give us wondrous linear movements all day long. They'll give us a few a day, and then a lot of times they'll give us grinding chop. So you have to survive the grinding chop to get to the linear price movements. So what I suggest is use a little bit wider stop in the beginning and less position sizing. As you dial in your stop and you feel comfortable for the instrument and time frame you're on, you can always make micro adjustments from there and incrementally make your automated trading more and more efficient. So this is a very important one. I'm going to cover this more in detail here in a second. Then a target, whatever I have set. So in this example, I'll go 160 ticks for a stop on this particular instrument and time frame. I'm going to go just for my target way out there. I'm going to go at least 7 times that. I don't really feel like I should ever have a target any less than about 7 to 1 way out there, because I can move it at any time I want. So let's see, 7 times 160, that'd be 1120. I'll just call it 1100, just even number, we'll call that good. My break-even threshold. The break-even threshold is once I get into a trade, how far does the market have to go before my stop, that's 160 ticks from the entry fill price, moves to break-even plus, in this case I have it set for 3 ticks. So I typically use 1-to-1 or more. So 160, I'll put 160 ticks in. So I have 160 ticks of risk. Market gets 160 ticks in the money. I can move my stop to break even plus 3 ticks. If I want to give it more breathing room, I could say, hey, whatever my entry price is, put it out 1.5 to 1. Meaning I really want to see that run away from me and move in the right direction before I think about having the stop tighten up. So then whatever 160 is, go 1.5 times that amount. So what would that, you got 80 plus 160, put that threshold. The threshold, I would never put it less than 1-to-1 unless you're doing something that's highly optimized, very dialed in, and you're advanced and you're doing some sort of specific quick scalping operations. I get it. Like some traders I know are on really low time frames doing some really like boom, 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 quick scalping where, as soon as the market gets about a half in the distance to what their total risk is, they're marching their stop in. Now that has to be a highly optimized operation to do that. This is more generic, give the market some room to breathe type of trading operations where you're in the starting out phase and you're just getting used to, getting the automation up and running and, getting some basic automated trading underway. Now, matter of fact, the trailing stop, we do have an option to turn on trailing stop. I'm not going to cover that in this video. That's a little more getting advanced. I would suggest not even messing with the trailing stop in the very beginning until you kind of get on a little bit of a roll and you're getting some sequential profitable days doing the automated trading in a more simplistic, less complicated fashion. So let's get into this stop placement, break even, just to kind of explain it a bit. What I advocate all the time, let's bracket the signal and what the entry bar was. So there's the entry bar. Let's widen that out a bit. Actually, let's exit the drawing tool. Let's make this a little bit wider, just so you can see. So there's my entry bar off the signal. What I do, and I think is a good rule of thumb, if I'm going to be in a short trade automated, whatever my entry fill price is, because I'm market ordering into the market, when that signal hits, it gets me in with a market order. If I go on any trade day and I measure the distance on short trades, like let's say I measure the distance, I take a trade day, take any trade day where there's at least some movement going on and say, hey, let me look at 3 or 4 trades and let me measure from the entrance, from the end of the bar to the top of the signal for a short on a couple of trades, measure that distance and kind of take the average. So what I've found for this time frame for my use, an average distance from entry to the roughly the top of the signal is about 160 ticks. Now that will change. If I go in a lower time frame, it might be down around 142, the average distance from an entry to the top of the signal. Now on a long trade, I want it to be from the entry to the bottom of the signal, the box, the bottom of the box. That's the least amount of stop that I like to use and that I advocate. The most amount of stop distance I'd ever want to use is from the entry to the most recent price pivot, meaning where did the market reverse and change directions leading up to the point we got a signal. So that's a very important concept to understand, for always knowing, regardless of the instrument you're on or the time frame, whatever that entry fill price is to the top of the square in its default setting in the AIQ1 indicator, that's the least amount of risk you should have on per trade, unless you're down doing something highly optimized in some sort of either, intraday position trading or quick scalping operation that you've optimized to get to your best settings. And optimization will be in a standalone video later as part of the training modules for the automated trading. So some very important concepts here, at least related. Now, the other thing, what I'm saying is from the top of the mom signal box or square, from the entry fill price, that's 160 ticks, that gap. What I'm doing then is I'm setting a threshold with this setting, the break-even threshold, where I say, hey, if the market gets to 160 ticks in the money, when the second intrabar or end of bar, whenever it hits that amount of price movement in my direction, the stop will automatically move to break even plus 3 ticks. So now my stop is here as the trade is running away from me. So that's what that is. Now, if I don't want to use it, then I don't have to use that. So if I put a 0, it disables the use of that feature of the automated system. So you do not have to use that feature. So these are some very important concepts to understand, because we're trading, crisp reversals frequently with the mom signal as related to cyclical uptrend entries, cyclical downtrend entries, or just flat out V-shaped, inverted V, or regular V reversals, where the institutional side is coming in and bursting in buy program activity or sell program activity. That is the only way that price can move the way for us to detect it in the indicator, unless we're on some super low time frame where it's all just a bunch of noise.